How the hell is everybody doing? Man Cave Sports back here with what was formerly known as Timberwolves Weekly. Going forward, will be known as Hungry Like the Wolves, much like the legendary Duran Duran song. And tonight we are currently watching the Timberwolves nationally televised game versus the Dallas Mavericks, who, by the way, are missing half their team. But the Timberwolves, unfortunately, are only ahead by 3 points, 77-74, with about 5.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. Timberwolves sitting at 22 and 21, I believe in the ninth spot as far as the playoff seedings go, which would mean they are in the play-in. We're a little over halfway through the season at 43 games, be 44 after this game, regardless of win or loss. But Ant just had a dunk. This is a game they should win. This is a game they really need to win because they're, I believe, a game behind Dallas right now. So we're getting to the point where all these games are meaningful, tiebreaker scenarios, etc. And with that, I'm going to go to Ramon. We haven't been on for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Uh, haven't talked about him much, but I guess between tonight's game and what you've seen as of late, anything that stands out to you from most recent or current?
I think I'm probably going to sound like a broken record that this team just can't seem to find consistency. They win three, and we think that the problems are solved, that, the inconsistent effort is a thing of the past, or their shooting woes from certain players are a thing of the past, or things are solved, and it just doesn't seem to be the case because then they rattle off two straight losses. It continues to be frustrating. But just looking at the box score tonight, it looks like the starting lineup, which has been a bit of a problem recently or all season, is really off to a great start. Mike Conley, 6 for 6,
Yep.
4 for 4 from deep, 5 assists, no turnovers. It looks like the entire starting lineup is really, really bringing it. Finchie is still going with that short rotation. It looks like only 8 guys are playing, and with an occasional ninth guy getting 5 minutes here and there. But I guess a question for the group is how bad is this injury to DiVincenzo? Because I know he's out, I think indefinitely. I heard a toe, but then I heard a foot fracture, so I'm not really certain on what's going on there. That's a huge blow. I guess one of the pluses of that is it looks like Rob Dillingham is getting a chance now, a consistent chance to play and be a regular part of the rotation. And I know he's had some ups and downs, but it sounds like he brought it against the Memphis Grizzlies in a loss, but he was bringing it. So I guess that's some positivity. But trade deadline's coming. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Wolves do. I'll
Yeah.
pass it on to yeah, go on. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no doubt. And we can talk about some of the trade stuff too here towards the end. Steve, what's your take on what we're seeing down at First Avenue and even on the road like tonight in Dallas? Which, by the way, everybody, we are sans Brett tonight, but Brett is actually at the game out in Dallas. I did see some footage on social media, so hopefully we'll see Brett again soon. Told him to send us some clips from there. So, Steve, what's your take?
Yeah, I think they found something with changing up some of the rotation a little bit with DiVincenzo. That was working really well. It really loosened things up to allow Ant space because you had to respect DiVincenzo's ability to shoot the three. But I saw when he came down on on another guy's heel and kind of bent that foot back, and then so it's a big toe. Pretty good sprain, and those things, you just got to give it time. So that's going to be a while, which is unfortunate because I think that we actually found a rhythm and we started moving things around. Randall started playing less. They were pulling him out sooner. They were only putting him in different spots. We were seeing some different looks and things. And now, Finch has kind of gone back to his old nookie blankie of his lineup there, which isn't really working. This team's biggest problem is itself. I have yet to see a team other than the one that, the one Knicks game where, Cat came back. Other than that, the problems we have as a team are our own, effort and focus. The effort on defense has to be consistent. The effort recently has not been on rebounding. Finch had to come out and tell Rudy that you have to jump when you rebound. This is stuff that we teach the kids when we're teaching them rebounding. You jump up, two hands, keep the ball above you, plant your feet. And he's calling him out in the media to tell Rudy, hey, jump when you go to rebound and, don't just stand there and play volleyball. So, I mean, the stuff like that, it's super frustrating, as a fan to watch because you've seen him be brilliant at times and you've seen him you know, just no, everybody's sleepwalking, kind of like this game, like you said. Luca's out. Lively's out. They've got with basically half the roster on Dallas out there, and we just got to a 7 point lead just a minute ago, and we were actually down by 8 to this group, and it's really just because they sleepwalked. I think Finch needs to give Dillingham a lot more run to go. And if you don't, then nothing's going to change. Until DiVincenzo comes back, I'd be putting in Dillingham every 5-6 minutes just to re-energize this group and wake him back up because he's a spark plug. Be naughty.
Well, I agree with a lot of things that you were saying, and my esteemed colleague and the very handsome Razor Ramon did bring up, he saw on his stat sheet that Finchie's back to the 8-man rotation. The starters are looking good. This was the first game that I've seen. I was texting Michael. I'm like, hey, man, it's like 3:28, and we haven't seen the Dillard. We haven't seen Nas yet. I think there might be something to that. But in regards to I could go back because we haven't done this in 2 weeks. I could go back over all of them. But the two games that really stand out to me, that Memphis game on Martin Luther King Day, in Memphis on national TV, in the town that MLK was killed in, where the civil rights, there's no way we were going to win that. And so watching that game, I loved that game. The one thing that popped off to me, Slim tonight. He's actually like doing what he's going to do, what he's supposed to do, what we're paying him to do. Michael brought up that Diller was 14 and Slim was like -18. Numbers lie. But my big thing is the Diller, dude. We got a star. And it was weird when he came into the game at 3 minutes left and then he was playing off the ball. But I like what I'm seeing out of this team. Michael.
Yeah, numbers lie except for if you talk about Jaden with his 110 defensive rating on the year when I believe the NBA average is 112. So
the last 2 games, sir.
What's that? Yeah, the game against Memphis, he was ass. Tonight he looks good. Tonight he looks good. And I mean the numbers, maybe they don't tell the whole story, but they tell a freaking lot of it. And here's a number for you. Back off, man. Nobody wants to see that crustache you got fucking going there. Anyways, here's a number for you. 18 free throws by Ant on Monday. First time I've seen him play downhill all freaking year. If they're going to go somewhere, Ant needs to do that. I don't mind him chucking up free threes because he's hitting at a high percentage, but I saw some stuff out of him Monday that I haven't seen much this year. Another thing that I put in here, where was it? Oh, I missed it. Anyways, I mean they look all right tonight. Now they have a 4-point lead with 2.5 minutes left in the third, but I'm not going to say it's a must-win game, but they can't keep losing games like this. I don't care that it's in Dallas and they're the defending they represented the West in the NBA Finals last year. This is a game you got to win. Rudy with a nice dunk there. Anyways, I'm going to do some word association. I want to mix it up a little bit because we've talked about them all year. The fan base is talking about them. You see some shit going down in the NBA right now, like was it Utah and Phoenix and a bunch of people trading picks. So some stuff's about to go down, and it's probably Jimmy Butler's going to be the straw that stirs the drink, a la Reggie Jackson, when it comes to NBA trades. And my assumption is that's going to go down any day. Why once you run him out of there? I don't know if you saw him the other night sitting on the bench while the team was huddling, just being the monstrous douche that he is, and quite frankly always has been. But let's do some word association with Timberwolves. First one is Julius Randle. Ramon.
Enigma. Do you want me to expand?
Sure.
Oh, Julius Randle. Bit of a scapegoat at times. I think he takes the brunt of the blame for what's wrong with his team, and I think some of it is deserved. And I don't think it's all his fault, obviously. I think Finch has made some mistakes, maybe not holding guys accountable enough. I think the shooting has been a huge issue. Mike Conley's kind of early struggles have been a big issue, but um, body language is another thing I want to add about Julius Randle. He just looks like he's kind of pouting a lot, and it's bothersome to me. Like there are times where I'm like, and I don't really understand him, and so I can kind of see why Finch has had such a hard time of maybe giving Nas more of the minutes to Randall, because I don't think Randall would be a good soldier about it, to take what B Naughty said about Mike Conley. I think he could become a big problem if that's the case. So on one hand, I'm saying he shouldn't be the scapegoat, but on the other, I think that he kind of sulks, and it's concerning.
Steve.
Uh, Fog, FOG fog. He seems to be in a fog. Um, when he's energized and he's crashing the boards, he's driving, posting up, feeding out to guys. He's impressive to watch. His physicality, like the one thing I do really appreciate him, a little positivity for you, Binati, is I love when he gets physical. He drops the shoulder into somebody. Nobody's intimidating this guy. He doesn't care if you're Draymond. He doesn't give a crap who you are. He's not afraid of anybody on the basketball court. When he's energized like that, I love it. And I think he's a great pickup. But you only get that in flashes and glimpses here and there. As the game's been going on, I've been watching, all of a sudden, he's crashing the boards, getting rebounds, stuff like that. That's great. He's a powerful guy. He's strong and he's fast. But then other times he's just like in a fog. He's not focused. Doesn't really know what, like I've said before, it's like the guy smoked a J like an hour before the game. And like, it's still kind of, he's kind of fading in and out. He's still high, but not high. Still, he's partway sober or something. It's frustrating to watch because you can see why people loved him out east. Because he is powerful, strong. When he gets going, he's impressive to watch. But he's in a fog for me. And I think Finch is doing him a real disservice by not helping him out. He's forcing Julius Randle to be in the spotlight and to take the blame for the Cat trade, because that's what Randle, everybody sees. It's not Cat there, it's Randle there. And so he's going to get the heat. Naughty.
I disagree. I don't think Finchie has a choice to bench him. There's no way that Jules is coming off the pine. So you got to start him. The big story with the Cat trade, hey, Julius Randle said, hey, Vinci, well, he's assistant coach in New Orleans. Yeah, he unlocked me. And I think it's Vinci scared of him. Referring back to Razor, the body language, bro. Holy shit, dude. When he was on the bench in the Memphis game, everybody was standing. And he had a towel around his head. And he was looking around everybody. He was the only one sitting down. I don't know. I want to love Julius Randle because I'm the wild card. I like the bad guys. I'm trying to find something to like and combat you guys with, but it's almost impossible. Michael.
Yeah, I was, something I thought about and was reading today, and I know, Steve, you've seen this because I put it up on X/Twitter. Out of 35-man lineups in the NBA that had logged at least 150 minutes together, the Timberwolves starting five is one of them, ranks 17th with a plus 0.4. And if you swap that out with Nas Reed, as far as net rating, you swap that out with Nas Reed, it goes to 27.2. So they are a lot better with Nas out there. And I know he's historically come off the bench and done a great job for them, but at some juncture, when you're sitting here around 500 fighting for your frickin' playing lives, you need to start making the adjustments. And it seems like Finchie's been bending a little bit, but is it enough to save the season? I don't know. But we'll see what happens with the trade rumors or with any trade options, because Randall, due to the fact that he even has just the 1 year player option left, which my assumption is if he's still here, he'll take. I don't think anybody's going to offer him more than the 30 million he's going to make next year. What they're going to do, because I mean, who knows? Connolly hasn't been afraid to do controversial moves or big moves, so we'll see what happens. Next one, Rudy Gobert, Ramon.
Tired. He looks a little worn out there. He doesn't seem to have, or maybe a little bit old. Maybe he's showing some age. His rebounding isn't what it's been. And it just seems like if he's in a scrum for a rebound, he's often not coming up with it. And I don't know if he's maybe dealing with some sort of an injury that we're unaware of, or maybe it's just the long slog of the season, but he just looks a little bit, he looks like he's lost some explosion. And his rebounding, I don't know what his overall rebounding numbers are, but just when I've watched games, he'll have one game where he's rebounding very well, then another game where he has like 4 rebounds. And that's
Ironically,
concerning.
he was just shooting free throws, and they panned over to Derek Lively and Luca, and they were laughing. So that kind of upset me,
How
bastards.
many does he have tonight? Do you know?
For points or
For rebounds.
I'm not sure. I mean,
Okay.
he just hit a couple of free throws, so his free throw shooting's actually been pretty good. I remember
80%, baby.
2 years ago when he would throw an occasional air ball up at the free throw line.
He's got 6 boards tonight.
All right.
All right.
I mean,
That's
Steve, what do you
That's
think
good.
about Steve? What do you think about Rudy?
Well, you know, I think Rudy has done some things well coming into the season, and other places he's definitely regressed. I think one of the things he's done really well is his free throw shooting. His free throw shooting is really good. He really you can tell he focused on it. So I will be very positive. I don't feel worried when he goes up to the line anymore. Right? I'm like, he's either going to get both or he's going to get one or two. I'm not worried about him bricking both anymore like I was last year. So that's good. One of the things though that, like you're talking about, we do miss the rebounding. And who's top 5 in rebounding right now? Cat in the NBA, both for average and total boards. So I don't know if this was something that we just didn't see as much of because of Cat's presence and, being able to get as many boards as he does, but it's very, very clear. Even this game tonight, I was checking out while we've been talking here. We went on a little bit of a spurt there, where we got up by 7 or 8, and that's because Rudy was rebounding, Randall was rebounding, and just getting crazy after it. I think Rudy, it's very frustrating to watch him with the ball. If it's not a dunk, not automatic dunk for him, he is like a little deer lost in the headlights, doesn't know what to do with the ball, and he doesn't finish. It's very weird to watch him not be able to finish. A guy that tall and that big, he's not an automatic finisher unless he's catching unless he's catching an oop. You don't know. Even at the protected circle, it's like at the protected circle, he should be slamming that thing down, right? Like 7'1" with that wingspan? That should be an automatic. He gets around that protected circle down there at the bottom. That should be an automatic 2 points. And it's not. He's going to, he does this thing where he kind of like lays it up and like tries to be Mike Conley with a floater. I'm like, you're that big, slam her down, knock it off.
Yeah.
Marty, take it. I don't want it.
All right, you know what? As usual, I totally effing disagree with you, sir. I've been a part of a lot of baseball teams in my life, and sometimes I'm the favorite. Sometimes I'm not, and there's no in between. And I think what I'm seeing with Rudy, it's either he's a douchebag or nobody likes him on the team. He's never set up in position. They never try to have him excel. They just kind of flip it over to him. Rudy, I think, is getting a bad rep. I think it's a bad rep.
Wait a minute. Finch puts him in a good spot a lot. Ant doesn't hit him. But how many times we said that on this show even, right? We said that on this show.
Rudy's got Julius. It says they wait. It seems like they want him to fail. I don't know. It's early. I'm not going to panic on it. I'm still a Rudy guy. Michael.
An interesting thing tonight, and they're up by 4 at the end of the third. So I got one more word association, then we'll probably close out of here. A little bit different a cappella style tonight from us, but that works. All 5 starters have at least 13 points, but none more than 18. It's crazy. So the balance in scoring tonight is pretty crazy. No bench points. So we have 8 points off of Finchie's great rotation of Nas, Nikhil, and Dillingham. What happened to Josh Minot, by the way? He was playing meaningful minutes, and all of a sudden he disappeared off the face of the earth. Anyways, let's do one more word association, then we'll close out and watch this game. Hopefully, a Timberwolves win. Rob Dillingham, Ramon.
Before I get into Dillingham, just wanted to point this out real quick about Rudy Gobert. He's averaging 10.3 rebounds a game, which is the lowest he's had in 11 years when he was 22 years old. So, is it a sign of decline? We shall see. Rob Dillingham, I would go with electric, the future, inconsistent, fun. Those are the words I can think of. I mean, when the guy is in there, you can't take your eyes off him. Part of it is because he's the littlest guy on the court, but a lot of it is because the man can just flat out shoot. The man can just flat out handle the ball, and he's not afraid. And while he does have a lot of defensive limitations due to his size, due to the fact that he's so young and so inexperienced, you can't fault him for a lack of effort because he is trying his ass off on defense. And that at this point in his career, that's all you can really ask for. I just wish he'd get a little bit more of an opportunity. I do think that on one hand, he has like those games where he looks brilliant, and then the next game he looks terrible, and he looks like he's really struggling. But I didn't watch the Memphis game, but I heard he was electric and he was getting it done. And on those nights, I feel like Finch has to let him ride him. And I don't think he did down the stretch from what I understand. If he's having a rough night and he's struggling a ton, then yeah, maybe you shorten the rotation minutes. But if he's cooking, let the man go to work. They need a lift. Steve.
Spark plug. This kid's a spark plug. Every time this team starts sleepwalking, anytime, if I was Finch, if I saw that, I would put him in immediately because Dillingham plays faster than everybody else on the court. He runs up and down the court quicker. It sparks Randall. One of the things I noticed when Dillingham's been in is that Randall will get out and run with Dillingham, and they will go ahead and push the pace when Dillingham's out there. And then tonight I was watching him and Na on defense there, and he and Na, because of their speed, they shut down, they shut down Kyrie and I forget who the off guard was, but they were trying to do switches and this and that. And it was beautiful. It was like textbook how you switch and play, and the communication they had was awesome. And so I think this kid needs a lot more run. And if I was the coach, anytime I saw the team start sleepwalking, boom, I'd have him in there instantly and just say, go run him, run that other team off the court. Because when he's out there, like the other night at Memphis, you get openings for Ant. You put him on the floor with Ant. They have to respect that kid's speed and quickness, and he does have a three ball. So why we're not giving him more run, especially with DiVincenzo's injury, I get when DiVincenzo's healthy because that guy is a bona fide stud. But when DiVincenzo's out, give this kid more wheels. Give him more run. Noddy?
Well, I agree and I disagree with both my esteemed colleagues, Mr. Steve and Razor Ramon. I think that he's not so fast as he was when he got run about 15 games ago. And I don't think he is as bad on defense, even being a young player as he is. What I saw in the two prior games, especially Memphis, I saw a guy that's under control. I saw a guy that was playing defense and being in the right spot. And this guy is going to be a star. Diller the Killer. You heard it from B Naughty. Michael.
All right, so the Wolves are up by 9. Naz Reid hit a couple of nice threes. I'm sure you guys are watching in the background or following on your devices. Dillingham, love him. Love him. Got a jersey this year of him. My son picked out a Jaden for the City Edition. I got a Dillingham one. I have not yet worn it, but I can't wait to break it out based on his recent play. So,
Just crushed a three.
Yes. Are you a little ahead of me? Let me see.
It says they're up 12 here on the computer.
Yep. Okay, just saw the 3, so you're a couple of seconds ahead of me, Steve. Way to spoil it. Oh yeah, we're up by
Hey, I
12. We're
figured
up by
you,
12 with
Mister.
9.5 left. So cross your
I'm
fingers,
going
gentlemen.
upstairs and I'm going to watch the game. See you
All
later,
right.
guys.
All right, Brian, we'll see you in a bit. All right, gentlemen, that wraps up this week's edition, the inaugural edition of Hungry Like the Wolves. Everything is going to be we're rebranding the programming just to mix it up a little bit. Maybe change the aura that surrounds our Minnesota-based teams. That's it. We'll go with that. But appreciate it, gentlemen. We will be back next week. Everybody, please like, subscribe, etc. Steve, I'll see you after the game. Ramon, we will see you next week for sure. In fact, you'll see me before then because we got to talk about what's going on February 1st, which
Yes,
I'm
sir.
freaking stoked about, by the way, is going to
Yes,
be
me too.
awesome.
It will
But
be.
thank you, everybody. That is Hungry Like the Wolves for this week. We will be back next week. Have a good evening.